Have you ever had one of those moments? You've got a brilliant idea, something you just know is a game changer, but when you share it in a meeting, it just falls completely flat. We've all been there. Well, today we're going to dig into the secret language of communication and figure out why some ideas soar, while others, even the really great ones, never even get off the ground.
That's really what it all comes down to, isn't it? It's not enough to be smart. It's not enough to have the next big thing. If you can't get people to actually listen, to hear you, then that amazing idea might as well not even exist.
Okay, so to really get this, let's jump into a story that is just the perfect example. It's about a high-stakes pitch that was honestly a total train wreck before it became a massive success.
So picture this. A guy named Jamie Siminoff walks onto the set of Shark Tank. He's pitching his company. It's called Doorbot. And the product is great. It's a doorbell with a camera that connects right to your phone. He's even got the sales to back it up. But then, one by one, every single investor, every shark looks him in the eye and says, "I'm out."
But you want to hear the crazy part? Just 5 years later, Amazon comes along and buys the exact same company. Now it's called Ring for over $1 billion. $1 billion! The idea was clearly a winner. So what on earth happened in that room? Well, it turns out it wasn't about the what. It was all about the how.
When you go back and break down the tape, it's all in these tiny little signals he was sending out. He introduced himself with this upward inflection. "It's Jamie?" Which immediately makes him sound unsure of himself. Then, when he's asked about price, he does this little one-sided shoulder shrug. That's a classic nonverbal sign of uncertainty. And when the investors start grilling him, you can literally see him do a deep, nervous swallow. And maybe worst of all, when he talked about competitors, he used what are called halt cues, these awkward, clunky pauses that just make us feel like someone's either not prepared or, even worse, not being totally honest.
And this right here, this is the heart of the problem. Siminoff had all the right answers, all the right data, but his body language, his nonverbal cues were practically screaming, "Don't trust me, I'm not confident about this." He made the classic mistake of focusing only on his content and completely forgetting about this secret language that we're all speaking all the time.
So, what is this secret language, and how do we get better at it? Well, the good news is, researchers have actually boiled it down into a formula that is surprisingly simple, but incredibly powerful.
It all comes down to this one idea: cues. Cues are all those tiny signals, the way you stand, the tone of your voice, the pauses you take. We are sending them out constantly. And even though they're small, they have this massive impact on whether people see us as credible, trustworthy, and, charismatic.
See, whenever we meet someone, our brain, our ancient caveman brain, is asking two really basic questions in a split second. The first is, can I trust you? This is all about warmth. Are you a friend or a foe? The second question is, can I rely on you? This is about competence. Are you capable? Do you know your stuff? Every single cue we send helps the other person answer those two questions.
And this chart kind of maps it all out. If you're high on warmth but low on competence, people see you as friendly and sweet, but maybe not a leader. High competence but low warmth, you're seen as smart, yeah, but maybe a little cold or intimidating. Now, low in both? That's the danger zone. That's where you get ignored or dismissed, which is exactly where Jamie Siminoff's pitch landed him. The goal, the sweet spot, is what we call the charisma zone. High warmth and high competence.
And here is the absolute game changer in all of this. You'd think, especially at work, that competence is everything. But the research shows it's the other way around. Warmth is the gateway. If people don't trust you, they will never fully buy into how competent you are, no matter how brilliant you might be.
Okay, so let's get practical. How do we actually do this? Well, it turns out there's one single skill that is the most powerful way to show both warmth and competence at the exact same time. And that skill is active listening. And no, this isn't just about being quiet while somebody else talks. It's about powerfully and consciously engaging with them. When you do that, you show them you care. That's your warmth. And you show them you understand. That's your competence. It's basically a charisma superpower. And the process is way simpler than it sounds. Step one is just to eliminate distractions. Put your phone away, and I mean really away, not just face down on the table. Give that person your full attention. Step two, embrace silence. Don't be afraid of pauses. A pause doesn't mean something's wrong. It means the other person is thinking. Give them that space. And step three, paraphrase and confirm. Just saying something like, "Okay, so what I think I'm hearing you say is incredibly powerful. It proves you were listening."
All right, so we've got the what to do. Now let's flip it and talk about what not to do. because it's just as important to know the common mistakes that can totally sabotage our best efforts.
And get this, research suggests there are just seven common traps that account for a whopping 90% of all our communication problems. Almost everything that goes wrong falls into one of these buckets.
So we have to become aware of these. Let's look at 4 of the biggest offenders. Using super complex language or jargon. You might think it makes you sound smart, but it just pushes people away. Being the distracted communicator. Glancing at your phone is the ultimate "you are not important to me" signal. Interrupting. That just screams, "my ideas are more important than yours." And making assumptions. You know, where you finish their sentence in your own head instead of actually listening? That's the polar opposite of active listening. Every one of these destroys both warmth and competence.
All right, let's bring all this home. How can you actually use this information in, say, your very next conversation, your next meeting, your next pitch? The biggest thing to remember is this: a great idea is just the starting point. It is not enough. It absolutely has to be supported by the right cues that signal you are both trustworthy and credible. You have to consciously balance that warmth and competence.
So here's your roadmap, your game plan. Starting right now, just focus on understanding that charisma equation. In your very next interaction, try out those 3 simple steps of active listening. And from this point forward, just try to be mindful, always, of those communication traps we talked about. It's a simple path, but it will make you so much more impactful.
So, I'll leave you with this one last thought to chew on. Most of us walk into a big conversation trying to prove that we're right, trying to prove how smart we are. But what if we changed our goal? What if, in your next meeting, your focus wasn't on proving you're right, but on proving you're listening? Think about that, because when people truly feel heard, that's when they're finally ready to hear you.